Good, thank you, Dave. How are you, mate? Yeah. No, I can hear you. No, I was just doing the old silently mouth stuff thing. Never less than hilarious. Your mother sucks cocks in hell. Just get it sorted out, mate. No rush. What's happening? Will it be helpful if I ask you what's happening every 2 seconds? I hear you, brother. I can hear you.
Let's see if that's working now. How we going, team? Reckon that should be about right.
I hear us on the YouTubes.
Well, there's a slight delay, so we might just give it a moment to make sure that it comes across all right.
No, fuck 'em.
Okay, looks like we're getting something now, so I guess that's a good thing.
Yep.
Cool. All right. Welcome, those who are watching. Obviously, you've got me, Dave, and also Pat from Measured Gaming. We're the two lucky people who get to do the list reviews. Unfortunately, neither one of us are going to the event, so that has made us the reviewers by default. Obviously, it was a fairly rigorous selection process. Anyway, there's a lot of other people in Australia not going to this event. So.
I think actually Mick refused to do it.
Yeah. I look to the 17 people who turned it down before we decided to do it. I wish them all the best, and I hope for a speedy recovery.
Yeah.
So yeah, how did you find the physical? It was invasive, but I think it was all right. All right, so we're going to crack on because we do have a time limit to get through this, and there's plenty of lists and plenty of good stuff to go through. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kick us forward. And just want to give out a couple of special thanks. First of all, to Jolt Games in Canberra, who is hosting the event. Very good of them to...
Good on them for taking a punt with the gaming space in the age of Corona.
That's it. Also, big thanks out to Tyson Gleason for donating prizes and also helping to pay the bills. One of the most, if not the most
generous guys around in the community.
In AOS.
And frankly, he needs to be, but...
What, to make up for the personality? Oh...
And the listing money, yeah.
Yeah, I can. I'm just saying this because he can't talk back to me right now, and I know he's not watching, so should be pretty safe. Also, want to give a shout out to AOS Shorts, who's doing a review as well, and to Plastic Crack, aka Pete. He does a wicked blog, and he'll be doing some blogging around his favourite lists, power picks, and other things. So,
doing it. Well, shout out to him. I love that guy.
So shout out to those guys for getting involved. Obviously, there's not a ton of AOS stuff going on at the moment. So
this will be the first grand tournament.
Yeah.
In Corona since out of Australia,
which is awesome.
I realise people have had events, but this is the first multi-state shindig. Really,
it is, and it's really good. So. Michael Thompson, thank you very much for organising and running.
Yeah, well done, Rock.
Yeah.
Pretty big ball move to assume Corona was going to be over enough by now.
No, I'm glad he backed himself. He got it done. Yeah, I'm glad he did it. So anyway, let's get into it.
Before we get into the tournament proper, I've been informed by the TO that there is 100% chance that Dennis Laurie will not be in attendance.
Oh, there you go.
So there's still a few spots, and if you're holding out because you didn't want to see Dennis again, the border to Queensland is closed. He's stuck in Toowoomba.
There you go. He's stuck.
He's
landlocked.
There is a link to a GoFundMe to, get Dennis out of the country underneath the comments on the YouTube channel. And that's being started by everyone who games with him in Toowoomba.
Yeah. And there's also going to be a petition at change.org. So,
yes, another petition. Prime Minister Rudd might be involved with this one to give it a bit of a push.
Yeah. He's had some success, so that's the way to do it. All right. Basically, what we're looking at here is the pack. The pack. A couple of things we want to talk about. Sons of Behemoth was included, even though the FAQ wasn't out by the time the extended list submission date was in. Was this a bold move from the TO, or was he setting himself up?
And it was brought out this week, so yeah, well done, Rob.
It's pretty safe. Now, there's two giant lists going to this event, and only one of them looks to be affected by the FAQ in any significant way.
Yeah, the only two big things in the FAQ was you can't count units for defending more than one objective.
Yeah, and
there was a bit of a question around that. And Kraken Eaters, if you kick an objective into the other side of the board, it's worth the points of where it is.
Yeah, which is interesting. I'm surprised I went that way with it, but it's interesting. Also glad to see that Longshanks means you can't get held in by a warp lightning vortex.
Everybody,
which just makes good sense. So anyway, luckily, the only person who's really going to be affected, there's only one list that FAQ is really going to affect. Then Secondaries is got auxiliaries in the pack. There are 10 different ones, 150 bonus points on offer per round, and we'll go through those in a moment.
1,000 points for a major, I believe.
Yeah, so similar point scheme to what we do. Yeah. So that should be really interesting.
1,000 points for a major. Secondaries probably will make a difference. So get them.
Yeah, definitely do them. They're not a bad choice of secondaries as well. Fairly achievable in a kind of cutthroat sort of way. I think they're all right.
Set terrain, which is good.
All preset, which is good. Obviously, you're going to bump it out the way for the sake of objectives and other faction-based terrain, but it's becoming the norm. I think it's good.
The one thing I really do like about Rock's pack, and I'm not a man for giving compliments idly, is what he's done with the realm rules. We've tried it out in our own games, and it works really well.
Yeah.
So basically, you nominate your realm with your army, and at the roll off at the start of the game, you can choose if you win. So the two choices are your realm or no realm, or pick the side and decide who goes first.
That's right.
So if you've got a really cunning realm scheme in mind, you can pick your realm and have at it that way, or you can choose the side and who deploys first to get out early, or take that piece of commanding.
Yeah.
It's had a really interesting tactical wrinkle to the game, and I honestly think it should be adopted as a standard.
Yeah, I really like it too. It's if your list is relying on something in that realm. So, for example, when I like to play some of my destruction lists, I always like to go to the one that makes everything nullification. So at least I get a crack at unbinds because I don't have any wizards. So to me, that's actually a really useful thing to my list. And
I mean, you take Ger if you're running big monsters or whatever.
Yep. Yeah. So it can have a real impact on some people's games, and that initial roll is.
But if you lose the roll off, you're not walking away empty-handed because you get to pick the side of the board or the realm, so you get something.
Yeah, you do. You get something for.
And if there's a nice juicy piece of arcane or commanding, you might say, "Oh, to hell with my realm, I'll take that."
Exactly. You've got choices, which is really nice.
Right, it's a really interesting tactical wrinkle to the start of the game.
Nothing quite like forcing a decision early on, is there?
I do expect that to be adopted as a standard too for what's left of the competitive view.
I guess we'll see.
Works really well.
Right, here's the breakdown of the battle plans. So obviously it's a 5-round tourney. This is the order of the rounds: total conquest, scorched earth, focal points, total commitment, and forcing the hand. One of my favourites, actually, forcing the hand. I think that's a really fun one to play and a good one to end on. We've put in there the deployment distances. So this is the distance between the shortest possible distance between the armies in deployment. They're all 18 inches, bar the last one in forcing the hand, which has a bit of a strange setup anyway, but that's a 24-incher. Number of objectives, 4, 8, 5, 4, and 6. So bodies are going to be really important, as always in AOS. We've got bonus
points. Coach is going to have a field day kicking objectives all over the shop.
Well, there's only one army that's going to be able to do it. So now the bonus points for the first 3 games: leader within 6, leader within 6, and monster or behemoth within 6. So
there was never a better pack for big monsters alpha striking.
That's true.
Because you get across that 18 inches in your sleep. And monsters and leaders score extra.
That's exactly.
And there's a lot of monster armies around, so it's going to be an interesting weekend.
Yeah. Just put some little notes there as to what kind of armies or players these particular ones tend to favour. Total conquest, counterpuncher, or armies that are patient. Only because you get those extra points for stealing off the other person. So let them get it first. Then nab in and get the extra points. Scorched Earth is good for fast, deep strike or shooting armies. You want to be able to get across that table, soften them up and nick in there and nick those objectives, I think. It's about trapping your opponent in those ones, I think. Focal points, survivable units that can get in there and stay there, I think.
If you've got the behemoth and your opponent doesn't, he is in real trouble.
Yeah, focal points is definitely made for those Stonehorn lists.
You can nearly double your turn, score a turn just by flapping 3 behemoths on the middle and your own objective.
Yeah, so that'll be interesting. Total commitment. It's I don't know. I think it's quite a divisive one, but obviously it favours those that don't rely on deep striking.
It's actually a much better scenario than it used to be because the objectives are a long way back in your deployment zone. Which is quite interesting for a pack like this.
And last one, forcing the hand. For those that are fast and flexible, it favours those kind of armies that can...
Yeah, this is a new one.
Yeah, they can... The kind of armies that push out a ton of damage, ones that can be fast. Once again, I feel like this is really a good one for Stonehorns if they've got the space to move and charge. because moving from one objective to another, they're all fairly close. And just being able to do those wounds on the charge and the extra damage you get off that, I feel like it really does help. It, this pack is for monsters.
It's a very good package for monsters.
And that's okay because there's no shortage of them in the meta right now. So.
And quick games, good game.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they will be.
And there's going to be a lot of quick games and dudes standing around finishing up in an hour.
Here's your auxiliary objectives that are going to be run over the weekend. So it's 2 per round, can't double down on any of them, and obviously declaring at the start of the match. So the ones chosen there, you guys can come back and review this or look them up in the GHB, but Vengeful Counter, which is...
they're all doable for any army.
They are all doable, yeah. Prized Possession, which is keep someone alive. Prey on the Weak is kill the battle line. Headhunter is kill all the enemy leader units. Invader is have more shit on the other side of the table. Mark for Death is kill a unit that's not a hero before the end of the game. The Bait, I love this one. Have one of your own die. You basically bait one out. So I know for a fact which battle plan I would be personally using that one in. Defender, no enemies in your territory. So if you can do Invader and Defender in the same one, good luck to you. If you can table someone, I reckon that's a good double down. Grudge, kill one of the heroes with one of your heroes, melee weapons only. And Overwhelmed, kill a hero with your battle line. Certainly doable in a monster.
Beautiful. Any army can do that.
Yep.
Some of them are a lot easier. Good luck for the KO, picking one of your heroes to kill your opponent's heroes.
Yeah, well, probably a lot less likely with KO, but who knows?
Yeah, fuck them anyway, would be my response to that.
There's no love for the KO right now. I don't see it.
None whatsoever.
All right. Quick faction breakdown, list overviews.
It's a very good split.
Yeah, fairly even spread. We're seeing more chaos than anything else. Death has been sort of it's been running lower and lower numbers.
That's traditional, though.
But
the biggest change is they're down on order and up on destruction, would be my take on it.
But the pack favours destruction. The pack definitely favours destruction. So it probably makes sense that some people, if they had the option, they're picking a monster list to go in this particular one. At a glance, ogres or more tribes is the most popular thing in destruction. KO is the most popular order army that's in this this list breakdown. Chaos is actually an even spread, 2 of everything, except the Buybuster, which is Zinch, taking that to 3. And Death, even spread, Nighthorn, OBR, and Feck, 2 of each. No Nagash will be present at the event. So yeah, that's where we're at with that. But look, I think we should probably press on. We're 20 minutes in, and let's get into it. So the lists. So we'll just go through them. The first one I've got here is from Odin. It is a KO list from Heich. Okay, so Odin hasn't actually listed his artifacts in here. He's going to have 3 artifacts. We're going to assume one of them is Spell in a Bottle because of the fact that he has a spell. Outside of that, not really sure what else he's taking. He's got one of everything as far as weapons and breakdowns in his units.
Yep.
An ironclad, 2 frigates, and
it's all just fruity steampunk time bandits to me, Dave.
Yeah, the one thing I'm a little bit disappointed in, there's no gun haulers. To me, they're the best unit in the KO book, and I would love to see gun haulers in any KO list. But,
I think this might be a guy just going with the models he has.
I think it probably is.
Because the Realm Cause Rupture is not a good pick for him, the spell.
Well, maybe he's got a plan. You never know. He might have a plan.
I'm just thrilled that there's a dude named Odin Aesegrin.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That's pretty good.
At 98 wounds, it's definitely on the low end for this particular tournament. But look, double frigate and an ironclad, it's going to punch out some damage. He's got riggers there to help keep stuff alive. And who knows? He may do something really interesting with it. So we'll see what he does. You've got a Lumineth army here next.
Only one Lumineth army, which is a bit of a surprise.
Yeah, there is just the one. 2 Stone Mages and a Cathalar. Then you've got 2 blocks of Sentinels, 2 blocks of Wardens, and double Mountain Cow, yeah? From
Double Mountain. You probably expect to see this in the Alarith Battalion, chapter, temple, whatever they are.
But, yeah, well, it's gone for Sire.
Each one of those big guys has got 2 bits of Acre Cord, so you can run their save down ridiculously low when they're under threat.
Yeah, look, having played against a couple of LRL lists, haven't played against this exactly, but, you know, those Cathalars and stuff, they can be a total pain in the ass. Whether it's the best one for this pack, I'm not sure. The 2 behemoths are going to help.
Spells marked for his battle line.
So, yeah, look, it's got some shooting, it's got some stabbing, it's got some monsters. It's probably pretty well rounded. I guess, unfortunately, I'm a little bit unfamiliar with it, but hopefully it comes across real well. So,
although I think it'll take people a while to figure out how to play Realm Lords.
Yeah, I think so.
Sentinels, and that's a lot of Sentinels.
It is plenty of Sentinels, that's for sure. All right, let's move on. We got a Tzeentch. What do we got here? A Witchfire Coven. So,
ooh, I like this one.
Acolytes, Pink Horrors.
The Pyrophane Cult is the shoopy one for Kyric Acolytes.
Yep.
And that's the battalion that lets you shoot with one of them in your hero phase. And he's got a lot of Acolytes. A unit of Enlighten for a bit of choppiness.
Yeah, I like the unit of 6 Enlightened. I think that is good, fast, and choppy. That's going to be handy. Unfortunately, being a unit of 6, it's going to have to do some damage in order to take generally an objective off anything that's at least a 10-man holding it. But
yeah, I think
it certainly can't be ignored.
You'd be better off holding them back as a counter charge.
I think so.
Just so one of your own units can get killed, so they can get their reroll hits and wounds before you fight them. But
yeah. And they get buffed if they get attacked first, is that right?
Yes. If another unit within 3 inches of them has attacked before them, it's all reroll hits and wounds.
Yeah. So, look, who knows? It's got enough bodies.
Yep.
Certainly got enough bodies. It's going to struggle to get those bonus points.
You're going to struggle to screen because you're going to get alpha quite a bit.
Yeah.
But I don't know the guy, and he may well be a genius. So I'm a bit reluctant to.
There's nothing wrong with finding a genius out there somewhere.
No.
All right. All right, let's move on. This is the first of the FEC lists.
Aubrey's own, or was he from Wodonga? Wodonga's own Joel Graham?
Yes, that's right.
One of the Magic Boys.
Nice to see him taking some FEC. He's been on a bit of a destruction binge for the last little bit, so it's good to see him pulling the FEC back out. Double Terrorgeist, always.
Double Terrorgeist, Wool, Horrors, Chalice of Soren. Yeah, basically, that's just going to come straight across the table and try and kick your dick in.
Yeah, basically roll as many 6s as possible. That Gristlegore and Double Terrorgeist is capable of punching a big hole in something.
Or drops. It's been a long time since anyone had to defend the Double Terrorgeist in a major way.
That's true. So should be really interesting. I think
Joel's a very capable player.
Very capable. Very strategic mind. So yeah, look, if you're playing against him, be ready for a tight game, I think.
Yeah, if you're playing against him in the outdrops, you'll make sure you get your screens up. If you outdrop him, just try and kill those Terrorgeists.
Basically, they're the things with the biggest target on them because the rest of the stuff.
Only one of those KO lists can probably put 2 of them down a turn if you get the drop on him.
Geez, you need a lot of shooting to go your way to kill one of those in a turn. But anyway, Jason Brown, also of Measured Melbourne boy. He's also
Melbourne boys. He's been on hard lockdown for the last 6 months.
He has. He's itching to get out there. This will be, his first AOS in like 9 months or something. He's taking the feast.
Same list.
Same list, different.
He's gone feast day for the extra piling a turn.
slightly different breakdown on the ghouls, I
Ghouls.
think, but it's really similar list. It's got a few more wounds in this one than Joel's one. But same thing, it's a double Terrorgeist. It's going to come and it's going to chew your face off.
Plus, you've got all the summoning from the Aberrant Archregent and all the rest of it.
Yep.
And Jason's a pretty good hand with his Flesh Eater Courts. I played him and he beat me the dog. So I won't be surprised to see him do really well.
Yeah.
Dick kicking list.
Yep.
Up next, we have Chris Welfare.
Yep. Running OBR.
Chris is one of the veteran great minds of AOS. So I had a look at this list and it's not sort of leaping off the page at me for what it's meant to be doing.
Yeah. Look, a Mason and a Shaper is a good mix.
You'd expect
in there, which is good.
You'd expect to see more horses in a Staliarch Lords thing, but everyone gets to run and charge, so that would.
Yeah,
I
don't know. I don't rate the horses, so I think he's probably right in doubling down on his Mortec Guard instead.
I think his plan would be just to castle up a bit, pound away with the crawlers, then come out.
Yeah, a couple of crawlers doing some damage and walk out. I mean, he's getting the pluses.
I've got enough confidence in Chris as a player to assume that if I can't see what the hell this is trying to do or why he's done what he's done, the fault lies with me, not him.
Those 108 wounds are going to be hard to knock down as well. So while it's on the, sort of the medium end of the spectrum on number of wounds, they're difficult wounds to get. So I think it'll be fine. I've played against OBR.
I won't be surprised to see him in the 4-1 section.
Yeah.
Because he's a very good player, knows what he's doing.
All right.
And a terrible nice fella as well.
And a terrible fella. Like, there's the bat we know and love.
He's a really nice guy, Chris.
All right.
True gentleman ages, Sigma.
Here we go. We've got Roe next.
Oh.
Running Scathing Tide. You've played against this list, Pat.
Roe is probably the hidden secret of Victorian AOS. In that he has a very domineering wife and he's not typically allowed to attend events.
But so when he does, he goes strong?
Well, he is the main man in Kyneton, which has got a little AOS viral cluster.
Yep.
And he's a very, very good player. And this list is, I'm tipping this to win the event.
Yep. This
is a dick-kicking list.
Most wounds in the list. This has the most wounds at the tournament.
A lot of those are useless screening clan rats, but he's got 80 Plague Monks, 40 Acolytes. This list has only been beaten once. I know he's been running it for a while.
Yeah.
Beaten once by me, as it turns out, but,
I just think this thing has a ton of punch power.
A lot of Skaven lists, because they can do everything, try to do too much, but this has got 0 fat on it.
Yeah. Obviously, he'll be using the gnaw holes as well to help aid the movement of a lot of these things because it's not traditionally a very fast list. But
he's just got all the options there.
With that many bodies on the table, you have no choice but to work your way through them.
Probably the only vulnerability is if you can ping off his heroes, but
same for just about any army, though, really.
They're not easy to kill.
Yeah.
They still get their lookout sir and whatnot.
They get lookout sir even from melee,
Yep.
Is a Skaven Tide ability. So
because they're giant war machines and they get their lookout sir.
Yeah. And look, love a Plague Furnace, frankly. I absolutely love a Plague Furnace, so that is cool as.
Skaven are still good.
Yeah.
People just stop playing them, and this is my tip to win.
Yeah, all right. Ian Pearce from
delightful fella too, right?
He is lovely. Ian Pearce is our next list. Works at our local Bendigo Guff and has been hanging out more with the Measured Boys. I
believe it's his first away tournament.
It is. First weekend away. Now this here is
Fruity Steampunk Time Bandits.
It's a pretty straightforward Urbaz list. So Urbaz is making your gun haulers battle line. He's obviously taking the Chemist Spell in a Bottle and a Warp Lightning Vortex. and he's got an ironclad and a frigate. He is taking the escort wing, which is why he's also got that little group of thunderers in there. He has to take them. I like that he's taking the Sky Wardens, and I hope he's put drill cannons on them. He hasn't listed it, but I hope that that's what he has put on the Sky Wardens as well. They'll hitch to whatever they want and move around. Plenty of movement. This one is just going to come down to general ability, I think, as far as where and how he places the Warp Lightning Vortex, to make the most of it, and just how he positions himself. Doesn't have a ton of experience, but I think he could get lucky with it.
He's hidden Vortex of Rage, Ian.
Oh yeah, he is.
Plays it very down low, but he's got the Eye of the Tiger.
He's real nice on the outside, but he's got he's got that streak in him, hasn't he? So no, well, we love Ian.
He is a mean son of a bitch. How many drops is he? I think drops will be important for your shooting list. 6 or 8, I'm thinking.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's about 6.
Drops are going to be important because there's some really low drop ogre lists coming up.
Definitely, yeah. Look, real
dick kicking list in this pack.
He'll do fine, but I think there's some matchups he's probably going to struggle with. But I hope he has a really good time more than anything.
Hopefully it'll be a good weekend away from him. He's had a shit time of it with the COVID.
Yeah, definitely. So,
but he's really been doing his bit for the community, staying open and whatnot. So good luck to him.
Yeah, I hope he does well. I've played against, if not this list, something very similar to it, and like I say, I hope he does well. Would have liked to have seen double drill cannons there, Ian. But,
What's a Voidstone Orb?
It's like a spell denial, I'm pretty sure.
Good. I don't like a list without a spell denial. Okay.
The Navigator can have a crack at dispelling anyway.
Solid.
Mitch is taking Khorne. I'll let you take over on this one, while I quickly read up.
I like this one. I like this guy. I play a bit of Khorne myself, and anyone that's willing to break out Bloodbound is a soul brother of mine. The temptation's always there when you look at one of these lists to dissect it and do exactly what I'd do with it. And it's not wrong because anything can go okay in Khorne. The only real rules are don't take bloodletters and always take Hexforger skulls. And he doesn't have the skulls, so I don't know. I like what he's done with the Skull Fiend tribe. So that Rage Thirster, the Bloodthirster of Unfettered Fury, is getting 7 or 8 attacks and 2 points of blood type every time he pops a hero.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a really good loadout for him. So if he's, you don't want to bring that Bloodthirster forward. If he keeps that back for a counter punch, he will fuck some people up with it.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem with this list is you're going to come up with a shooting army and they're just going to blow you off the table. It's Bloodthirster's 14 wounds and a 4-up save. And those heroes are too easy to pop. It's the problem with the Bloodbound in the current meta, but I do like this list. And if you can get a charge off of those Skull Reapers, you've got Screening Troops, 6 Mighty Skull Crushers with a 2-up save. Yeah, it's all happening.
Yeah.
But, just too many shooting lists, and they're going to blow you off the table. If you can come away with a 3 and 2, that would be a really good result for this list in this pack.
Yep.
But as I said, I don't know the guy and how much experience he's got. He's got Karanak as well. He's good, but that's just another 5-wound hero that's going to be a blood type point against KO.
Yeah, but
3 and 2.
Yeah, you reckon? Yeah.
He'll go well in straight up Malay Slugfest. It's a good list, but I just don't think
there's not a ton of those in this list. Though.
Yeah. That might hold him up a bit. But, good luck, God bless.
Yeah.
Prove me wrong.
All right. James Mabry here running Nighthaunt.
James is a Sydney man, I believe.
This is a really cool list. Actually, I I have played something similar to this. It's funny, I'm always curious as to why Alinda ends up in a Nighthaunt list. I don't think it's a mistake. I just personally don't like including her in a Nighthaunt list. But having said that, love the Dreadblade as the general jumping around.
Yeah, that's a standard Nighthaunt thing.
It's useful. It's a really good utility. Alinda's there. You've got Spirit Torment, Guardian of Souls with Nightmare Lantern, which is brilliant. What I like here, though, which is...
I'd say Alinda's there for her restore 1d3 bodies ability to Spirit House.
Yes, but that means she'll be hanging around the Executioner, because we've got the Executioner Horde. And this is one thing I really like, is the Executioner Horde with the Spirit Hosts around, make him... He can basically become like a neg3 to hit.
Yeah, he's very durable.
Very durable. Yeah, if we could beef his output a fraction, that would be really cool. But I love the use of the Execution Horde. I think it's very cool.
It is very dispiriting when you're up against those Spirit Hosts and someone returns them as bodies, not wounds.
Absolutely, which is amazing. He's gone the minimum Chain Rasp, but I love that he's got some Hex Rates there for some speed.
Morngull as well, he's really stacking the edge.
Yeah, he's got Banshees there for anti-magic. I really like this. I think it's a good fun list. He's got extra CP up his sleeve. I like it. I like it a lot.
And you take a Nighthaunt, so it's all there to be won. There's no...
That's true. I think Nighthaunt's a really tough ask. And yeah, all the best to James, because as someone who enjoys and has enjoyed playing Nighthaunt in the past, I look forward to seeing how this goes.
Yeah. This Jason Wood, Slaves of Darkness, the spoilers. This is probably my favourite list out of the pack.
Yep.
I don't know this guy, but I suggest if he sticks to competitive AOS, it will be a name to watch, because this is what I look for in a list. So he's taken the spoilers, which is the Demon Prince Battalion, and basically picked everything that's good out of it, which is the 18-inch command bubble on the general, the artifact that gives you the D3 command points, and the command trait that lets you move D3 units before the game starts.
Mm-hmm.
So the spoilers everyone wanks on about the thingo that makes your terrain blind of sight blocking or whatever. And that's just a gimmick. So he's got the 3 good things in the list. A whole heap of buffs, a War Shrine.
Oh, there it is. That's what I was waiting for.
Yeah. So I actually ran the numbers on this. I was so in love with it. Mm-hmm. And those Chaos Knights on the charge, fully buffed, can put out an insane amount of damage. Literally 80 points, 80 wounds for 4-up save.
Shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
And he's got the Slave to Darkness Demon Prince with the charge stopping ability.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got a good chance of getting that charge off. My only problem is he's at high drops. So he's probably going to have to be countercharged with his Chaos Knights.
I don't think that hurts. In this pack, I think countercharge is actually a really good move.
But, he's got +2 attacks. Everything's got the Mark of Khorne.
Mm-hmm.
The only problem I have with this list is the absence of a Chaos Lord, because he can throw out your double piling.
Yeah, okay.
At 110 points, which is an absolute bargain when you're doing anything with slaves.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, 15 Chaos Warriors, they're re-rolling all their saves naturally, get them at +2 attacks. Anything in this unit will do damage. I'm tipping this to go really well, but whoever wrote this list, as I said, I don't know the guy, but he's got a really good brain for putting together a list.
Yeah, it's got bodies. Yeah. Yeah, all right. Well, let's see how it goes. At 149 wounds as well.
I think of a few things I'd change, but no, it's
okay.
Solid. I reckon it'll go really well. 4-1 finish there.
All right.
But yeah, those Chaos Knights, he was going to get one glorious charge off with them in a 5-round event.
Yep.
They're all going to hit at their full thingo, and they are just going to perform a legendary feat of destruction.
They're going to ruin someone's day, you reckon?
Yeah, the rest of the time they'll hit a 10-man chest from it or something.
Mm-hmm.
But in a 5-round event, he's going to get one truly epic charge out of them.
All right. let's move on to Pete. Pete Atkinson. uh, look, this is a pretty solid more tribes list. So
Yeah, I
got
know.
here double Frost Lord, then the Yerbad.
Yelbad, Mornfang, blah 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 blah
Okay,
blah.
so all right. So where this one is a fraction different to one that I would run is that he's gone for extra Mornfang in the battalion, which is going to be fishing for those sixes that are mortals in addition to. So sixes to hit, mortals in addition to. That's
Extra
really
bodies.
important. And more bodies on decent sized bases. Not a bad idea, and I don't think that's a mistake. It's not a list that I've played because I really just have an aversion to Mornfang, and I only put in the tax amount and prefer a Beast Rider. But I do love he's gone a double Frostlord. To me, it's ballsy as hell. 86 wounds that are going to be really hard to take. You've got 4 Stonehorns.
Low drops, 3 drops. He's going to get across the table nice and early. I think the fault with this list lies with the man himself. Yeah, Peter Atkinson, he sort of reached a point where his running mouth has well and truly outstripped his recent results, and he's looking for a big win.
I don't think he's getting a big win with that. I think well, him and 6 other people are going to get a big win with that. Then that's a pretty look. It's good.
I mean, Pete's style is big war or bloody savage orcs, 60 guys shooting bows or whatever.
Yeah, he plays Destro. That's okay. This is not a bad list. I think.
No, I just think it's not the list for Pete.
It's not the list for Pete, though.
I mean, this is a list for a guy who's got a set of balls and is willing to take risks, and that's not Peter Atkinson. Because, even Frostlords on Stonehorns are damn whiffy. You've got to take the bull by the horns. But Pete's a guy who's at his best and happiest when he's rolling 300 arrow boy strikes,
Tell you what, that first Stonehorn, the general, that thing is a murder horn. That's +2 to mount attacks, to hit, +2 to hit on all of those. Your other Stonehorns are getting extra movement if they're starting wholly within 12. Yeah, look, the only thing that I'd personally like to see more Beast Riders than Mornfang, but having said that, what he's done is he's pushed this less about the Yerbad, more about the Boulderhead. By having more heroes, you're getting more mount traits because Boulderhead lets you have all heroes on Stonehorns get mount traits.
Yeah, it's a good list.
Plus, they're also getting those extra wounds. You get +1 wound. So your Frostlords are like 14 wound with a 3 up, then a 5 up.
Yeah, they're pretty resilient. I just don't think it's Pete's list.
I don't know. What I want to see though? I want to see him run those 4 Stonehorns side by side as a lawnmower around the table. That's how I would like him to play this list.
Yeah. Bears mentioning Pete is an absolute fiend when he gets away from home.
Yeah.
So there's a pretty good chance if he goes to Fishwick or whatever on the Saturday night, he's not showing up on the Sunday.
Yeah, well, we do also have a message in the chat. Binny reckons this isn't the best More Tribes list, and I guess that's because he reckons his own is. So
we'll come to that in a little while.
All right.
Actually, Pete's a delightful fellow, lovely guy, putting aside my personal issues with him.
He is. And Plastic Crack is his blog, and it's actually, I will say, he is a very good writer.
It's well worth a read.
Yeah, it's definitely worth reading. So, get on that as well.
Yeah.
So, let's
moving on. Look. Okay, so Martin Brooks, we have pretty much the same list.
Yep.
Except he's named all his thingos, which I quite like. Oh, no, he's got a butcher.
No, this is a Blood Gullet list. So this one is, you got the Splatter Cleaver, you've got the, I love Ribcracker as a list in there. More Mornfang, so 2 4s and a 2.
Monsters fight without thingos, and there's a lot of armies in here without a single dispel, so your butcher might be able to do
Yeah, I would love to see the Butcher be able to get away and do some stuff here. And as you say, he did write some names next to stuff, which is always good fun.
Always a bit fun.
Yeah, I love.
This guy's a bit of a narrative player. He's a bunny, but hey, I could be wrong. Prove me wrong. I'd like to see this list do well. Yeah. Just because it's got a Butcher in it, it's not the usual boulder head nonsense.
Well, no, I mean it is a blood gullet, so.
I actually really like the Splatter Cleaver as an artifact for a Frostlord too.
Yeah, me too. I think it's good.
6-inch pile-in. Hopefully he does well. Oh.
All right, let's have a look. You can do this one, mate. I'm going to see if I can improve my audio of fractions. So bear with me. You can read this one out.
At some point, George Foreman must have bumped into Muhammad Ali after he had his Parkinson's diagnosis kicked in. And the sadness that George Foreman felt at seeing his formerly great rival reduced to such a state is pretty much how I feel when looking at this list by Joel McGrath.
Right.
It's just, for a guy that was an innovator, it's like, I don't know. I just feel sad looking at this. I mean, it's all there. He's made a few changes.
Yeah. Look, I think Magro's making a fair point. Be nice to Joel. He is new to AOS, so... look...
Oh, he's got a Mind Steal. It's fine, Rachel. That's exciting.
Listen...
it's like...
Joel, put in the comments, mate, have I played against this one? I played against your Bok a lot. Have I played against this one? You let me know.
It's like if for some reason you went and saw the band Hanson play Mbop. Except now they're all really, really old.
Yeah. So you're saying Hanson hasn't got it anymore, is that what you're saying?
I'm just saying, they had a hit back in the day, and they're just... Okay, so what's in here? Doom Bull. So he swapped out the Bull Gores. That's probably a good inclusion.
Yeah, he's got 6 Bullgores in there with great...
Gary the Gorgon. I think the greatest problem this list is going to face, previously in all seriousness, is the lack of an Ether Quartz Brooch, which won't let him spam as many extra attacks from his spawn as he used to.
I don't know about that, but I do know one thing is for certain. He's going to go 4th.
4th, yeah, you reckon he's going to finish 4th?
Yeah.
I reckon this will be the one that breaks the thingo.
You reckon this will be the podium grabber?
No.
Oh no! Oh, this will be the one that makes him quit AOS.
No, this is a 3 and 2 list, I reckon.
This is a 3 and 2, is it?
Well, he's going to come back with a whole bunch of excuses from this one. I wasn't playing for sheep stations.
No.
It's a very respectful event.
He's been quoted. We're always playing for sheep stations, motherfuckers. That's what it... Look, 171 wounds, there's plenty to get through. When he fully buffs some of these things, they'll be pretty hard. The Taurus is a total pain in the ass. I don't know.
At some point, when you're an old whore and you've just spent that extra hour putting the makeup on to cover up the cracks, it's probably time to move on. But I wish him all the luck. Terrific guy.
Right, here we are. All right, let's move on. Ben Smith, he's running Boulderhead as well. Frosty, Husky, 4-2 and Beast Riders, Earl Bad, 86 wounds. Not to kind of...
No offense to Ben Smith,
but
we've covered this.
It's a really standard Boulderhead list. I like it. I like it quite a lot. Once again, going a double Frostlord, you're sinking those extra points into a guy who's got that spear and got that better save, better wound. And in Boulderhead, not a bad idea. You got Metal Cruncher, Black Clatterhorn, Old Granite Tooth, definitely the Mount picks. At 1980, he's half a chance of getting a Triumph. There's a lot of the lists in here are 2000s, so it's a 3-drop.
Yep, he's just gonna do some dick kicking.
He will, and look, I hope he rolls a lot of sixes.
It's a very good list for this pack.
Yeah, it is. It's a good list for the pack, no doubt about it. So,
you're not getting through this without running into bloody Stonehorns or KO.
No one is getting through this weekend without facing off against a Stonehorn or an Ironclad or both. Just simply based on how many they're going to be there this weekend. So, let's move on to Cody. Cody's running the Gloomspite Gits. This is the squig heavy one.
Squigs.
Yeah.
So I actually looked this up because I didn't know what it did.
I love squigs.
I hate squigs.
I think squigs are delicious.
They're just too much comic relief, man.
No, it's fine. Look, you need a Muppet amongst all of the, the Michael Bay, don't you? I would love to see this one in action. So I'm hoping that you do really well because this is
hopefully it looks really good on the table because they do come up lovely and colourful.
They do. It's a lot.
It's actually as good as a list as you're going to get with squigs, so they all tend to do +1 damage on the charge when they bite.
Yep.
You can re-roll their random ass movement, which is a definite bonus.
Yep.
Bring them back off the Moon Shrine, and they get a pre-game move. And that's a 2-drop army, 3-drop army, I think.
Depends on what those battalions are. So the Moonbiter Squigalanche is going to be most of what's on that list, I'm pretty sure. Then the Jumper Stampede is probably
5 drops, so you're going to have a whole bunch of squigs right in your grill from turn 1. Form Drop Bounders do decent mortals.
They do, yeah.
I think this will go well.
I love the Mangler and then the double giant cave squigs. Triple giant cave squigs. I think it's going to be great. That's your leader and your behemoth. So this guy is pushing for bonus points. It could be the thing that actually nudges him over. Like everyone else is going this weekend, I say this is 4-1.
There's a lot of good lists. It might be a hobby army. Squigs sometimes are.
Yeah, no. I honestly, I don't actually know what this one's going to.
I don't know the guy.
I think it's going to do well in the bonus objectives anyway. I think this one will be a lot of fun.
Yeah, there's not a lot of people coming out Malay with bodies, are there? Yeah. Okay.
Benny. Stephen
Bennett. Bennett.
All right. So this is what everyone was waiting for. Obviously, this is the one that's going to take out the weekend.
What can I say about this list?
7. 7 is what you can say.
So there was a story, if I just digress a little bit, Dave.
Carry on.
I once heard a story back in World War One. There was an Italian trench being heavily shelled by their enemies, and one of the Italians leapt onto the trench and shouted, "Hey, don't you know there are people in there?" Before he was mercilessly cut down by shell fire. And to me, this is that perfect moment of a glorious affirmation of humanity and the beauty of life. This list speaks to the possibilities of existence. This is your, life is beautiful type list.
Yeah.
But you're going to die horribly.
This is the noblest of endeavors.
2 seconds after running it.
Yeah.
Yeah, just...
You know what?
Here I am, world. Crunch.
I love it. I hope he does well with it.
I love Binnock.
I know it's not been the easiest thing in the world for him to get his hand on 7 Thunder Tusks because everyone builds Stonehorns. Even to get your hands on Thunder Tusks is not easy. Second hand, and it's hard to invest good hard earned in buying 7 of these bastards. So I really love it, and I hope he has a lot of fun.
I played against it, and geez, Thunder Tusks. They've got, you look at their mortal output, but they've just got everything working against them.
Yeah, I think they're a real letdown in the new book, unfortunately. But I love that he's just gonna own this and go, you know what, fuck it.
He'll win a game or two, you betcha.
Yeah. As much as I love it, I think he's gonna go 2-3 with this.
Yeah, I reckon he'll struggle to get the 2, but
it's been nice.
It is a glorious, suicidal thing,
It is. It is a swan dive off a 16-story building into a field of daisies. It is just magnificent. All right, let's carry on. Jono. Jono's running KO in Ashimon. Okay, this is another one where no Skyport's been selected.
This is the first KO list Oh, no, he hasn't included everything. Okay.
So we're running the escort wing here, which is good. That's fine. I think that's a good call. He's maxing out his Thunderers. One thing I'm not sure about here is I'd be curious to know how he plans to play it, only that when you go to 15 Thunderers and your Ironclad hasn't got the buoyancy jobbies, it means he can't go putting his heroes on there and his Thunderers and having that thing still fly high. It'll be half movement. Instead, he's gone for the last word.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure. Perhaps he's planning on
Prove
leaving the
his steampunk
Thunderers.
time benders, Dave.
Yeah, well,
Talk to me about something I refuse to learn about.
well, look, all I'm saying is maybe his intention is not to put the Thunderers on the Ironclad, which would be the normal, I say the normal way that you would probably have this hammer moving around with all these Thunderers on it. But he's gone for a spell in a bottle, Warp Lightning Vortex, which is fine. Without our ships, we're naught, so once per game he's healing D3 wounds, pretty sure. Always take what you're owed. His D3 guys are getting an extra ether gold at the start. And Settle Grudges means you can pick a unit and re-roll hits a 1 against it.
That great engine works for Dead Settler Spar. What's that on a gun hauler?
That's on a gun hauler. So that's kind of
a charging spot.
That's a once per game on its first charge. You can do D6 mortals. So that's your suiciding your gun hauler into something.
So that's something to do with. I didn't think you could put the great engine works on.
Yeah. So they've all got all 3 levels of boat have engines.
Oh, okay. They've all got their own too.
They've all got their own ones. Yeah. Look, happy to see he's got all the riggers, so his intention is to keep his boats alive as long as possible. I like it. There's lots of shooting. There's not enough bodies to face off against a lot of the other stuff that we're going to see this weekend. I think it might struggle, but if he's patient, works the counter punch, stays back, shoots, moves, shoots, it's a real duck and weave thing. He might be able to do the damage in 3 turns to then steal the objectives and take it out. So who knows? I think it's a late game grabber, and I think it requires a lot of patience and finesse.
Yeah, man,
and if that's the kind of player Jono is, he'll do all right.
How good was Sean Connery in Time Bandits?
Yeah, rest in peace, Mr. Connery.
Yeah. Shout out to Sean Connery. Now that I think about it.
Dalton taking Pebbles and the Greenies. I reckon this one's a podium.
Yep.
I reckon this one's definitely a podium for the weekend. I know Dalton loves it when the pressure gets put on him, and people expect high things of him. But I really do think for what this one does, I think it's just got a fair chance of.
For people who aren't familiar with the measured style of Big War, they basically crouch behind a line of 30 Savage Orcs until all their buffs max out, then move out and murder the ever-loving shit out of you. And that rogue idol squeezes itself into tiny little gaps with a 40-inch move or whatever.
But it moves all the way across the table, yeah.
It's got enough movement to get to the next table.
Yeah. I think.
I actually don't think the Big War will do as well in this tournament.
I don't know.
There's a lot of armies that are just going to come right off the table and shove 4 bloody Stonehorns into your Savage Orc screen.
Yeah, they'll do that. Maybe.
If you can get them in combat and on the back foot in turn 1.
You're gonna. This is a all eggs in one basket to take this on. You need to. You need to force feed it a Stonehorn. It's kind of, to me, it's a bit like that. When you play a Bloodthirster heavy list, it either wins in turn 1 or it loses. I think a lot of the Stonehorn lists are going to have to do that against something like that.
So basically come straight across the table and
pray
that you roll Savage Orcs up his ass. That's your best chance.
I honestly think it'll do really well in this pack.
And he doesn't make a lot of mistakes. So
he's a very solid player. I think.
I wouldn't be surprised. Miserable bastard too. I would not be surprised to see him win this or do very well.
Okay, moving on. We've got our next OBR Petrifex Elite. A nice.
Someone sticking to the Petrifex.
Yeah, you got 40 Mortec Guard there. You got some Death Riders. That's again, a mace and a shaper.
I like the two harvesters.
Capitals.
That's good.
Yeah, double harvester, double crawler. It's good fun. I think this is all right. It's going to be hard to take those 170 wounds. I just think it'll be good. I know we keep going on about, every list is all right and every list is a 3-2 or a 4.
It's a very strong field.
It's a pretty strong set of lists, I think. So it's obviously
4 and 1.
Someone's going to have to go 1 and 4. And I think it's actually going to be a really unlucky weekend for that person. The people who do poorly.
Someone other than Bionic.
Yeah, well. Him and Ian are fighting it out for the wooden spoon, apparently. So we'll see.
You just don't find the bunnies that you used to get at tournaments anymore, do you?
No, I guess not.
Look, 36 lists, you get 7 or 8 that were just hobbyists, or some guy borrowed someone's models and they were just going to get drubbed all weekend. They're not showing up anymore.
Now, what's Shimon bringing to this list?
Shimon! +1 save spell.
On a Petrifix, it's already hard to kill.
Yep, so they're getting their +1 save back from the spell. And everything's entangling, which is interesting. It's probably good for you if you're just going to sit there and bang away with your crawlers and move forward in the late game.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, all right. Tristan Smith and his putrid list of Blight Kings. I'm actually, Tristan, I'm a little bit disappointed that you capped out at 45 Blight Kings. That's rookie numbers, mate. Ditch the Great Unclean one and get that up to, like 60 or 75 or something.
He's got the Great Unclean one with the bell, just for that extra movement. Gut Rot Spume, it's everything you'd expect in a Blight Kings list.
Yeah, hey, it's just straight out of a Josh Reynolds novel. You've got Gut Rot, you've got a ton of Blight Kings. There's ichor and slime and ooze and stank everywhere.
Gammon Heads just to increase the misery.
In a Blight Cyst, 210 wounds. Sorry, this thing's just a prick of a list. He's just going to hope that he can stomp and outscreen and basically just take up more space. I mean, they're on, what are they, 40 or 50 mil base?
Side note, how miserable are the gamers of Magic?
Magic the Gathering?
Magic Gaming Club.
Measured, oh yeah.
The really awful list we've come to in the pack so far have been us.
All right, there you go. So
I'm glad I'm not going at this point.
You think it'll be a negative player experience?
You reckon? No.
I don't know. I'm actually looking forward to just having a friendly game against this one anyway. I have quite a decent Nurgle and Blight King collection of my own that I haven't had a chance to put on the table yet, so I'm keen to have a crack against this and just see what it does anyway.
But he's only got the one big blob. If you can break that, the rest of it will fall apart.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I guess we'll see. I don't know. If he has some hot dice, he's gonna chew through some shit. No doubt.
He doesn't have the Lord of Blights. Where's the Harbinger of Decay? That's one.
You don't have to take it. It's a 0 or 1 Harbinger of Decay.
He's the 5-up shrug guy. Surely you'd take him.
Don't know. I guess he just didn't have the points.
Oh yeah, he's eating up command points too. Okay.
Yeah. All right. I think that's the second highest wounds list.
Wounds count in the game. Yep.
Plenty to get through. That's going to be long games. Okay, so take a Gatorade.
Yeah.
All right. Mr. Anderson, I'll let you take this one. Craig Anderson.
Hosts have ever chosen. Actually.
So it's Vanguard, 9 Vanguard. The Iron Golem.
I think this is a hobby. This looks like a hobby army. Just because the Iron Golems and the Furies. So we'll get 1 or 2 glorious turns, but competitively, you're looking at an arch without a reroll save buff, and he's going to die.
Do you know what that Mask of Darkness does?
Yeah, that's the transport spell.
Okay, yeah.
So you can move stuff around. The Vanguard have got the double pile in. I mean, please, by all means, prove me wrong. But just with the Iron Golems and the Furies, it looks like a hobby army. Well, and having said that, the Iron Golems are a pretty good screening unit.
Yeah, great screening unit with 24 of them.
You're
going to cover your
naturally
battlefield,
reroll saves if you don't charge.
Yep.
But yeah, he's. I don't. Yeah, I can see this not doing well. No offense to the guy, but
no,
I just don't like arch without buffs.
I think for the pack with the number of objectives per battle plan, the kinds of bonus points you can get, the number of bodies he's got in this, feel like he's gonna get choked out a bit.
Yeah, it's an interesting list.
Yeah. Anyway, interesting to see how it goes. Not sure about that.
Yep. Yeah, I wish him all the best, etc., etc.
Cool. Robert.
The Skaven army.
Now this is a very narrative one, I think.
Yep. You can tell it's narrative because it's got a claw lord in it. And not 80 plague monks.
Yeah. What do we got? A 40 and a 20 and a 20. Then 40 storm vermin. That's cool. That's cool. I like that.
I don't think. Yeah, so he's got the acolytes for some range punch, vortex, Doom, which I do like.
Yeah, obviously warp lightning vortex never hurt.
Claw lords, which you never see. I don't think it's the best Skaven list. Rose running that. But you'll be surprised, just that extra attack on that Storm Vermin with the double death frenzy from the Vermin Lord and the Grace here.
Yeah.
They'll carve. You'll be surprised at what they can do.
Yeah.
They're the 2-inch range on their weapons. You can get a lot of them in.
Yeah, he's invested pretty heavily in it, but I kind of like it.
I like it. Couple of 20, +1 attack for 40 clan rats with spears. You throw a lot of dice.
Yeah, once again, that's another long game. There's a lot of dice there.
But he is working clan verminous thing, so good luck to him.
Yeah, I like it. I like the commitment.
And just all you got to do is hit a couple of double sixes on the bell, and Bob's your uncle.
There you go. Bring out another Vermin Lord. All right. So now we go across to the only Seraphon list.
Total's Claw. I do like this list. As I said, the only list I haven't liked have been those of my friends, but.
So Kotal's Claw, I was just going to quickly look it up and see
what is +1 to hit on the charge. So your Saurus are in the Earth Lizard thingo. So they're all shrugging off multiple damage, which will be really good in this pack.
Controlled Fury.
I wondered why he didn't have the other version of the dude on the Carnosaur, but you get the +1 to hit from the command ability in this particular one.
Oh yeah, he's done a double Scarvet rather than an Old Blood, yeah.
Pterodons, and if you remember when the book came out, Pterodons were supposed to be the end of the world for everybody.
I think the double Salamanders is going to be good, nice and useful. Nothing wrong with those.
But nice little mortal output from the Pterodons and the Pterodon Chief.
Yeah.
Gaminid, so he's a bit of a prick.
Yeah, look, it's all about buffing those Saurus. The point of the whole list is about buffing those Saurus. So,
and you've still got 30 skinch in there. Yeah. So hats off to him for not running the Croconado nonsense.
Yeah, look, he's got enough potential to disrupt enemy magic, which is good.
Plenty of screens, he should go okay.
Yeah, he's got screens, he's got buffable bodies, and he's got some...
But just a unit of Aether Wings and the Gaminids tells me that this guy is a prick. Maybe not as a human being, probably.
Well, Jeff, if you are a prick, good luck to you.
Yeah, this guy is going to be a mean son of a bitch to play against. Because, the Aether Wings and Gaminids is just a red flag.
There you go. All right. Let's go. Let's move on.
Oh, Beast of Chaos, Cave Spawn. I do love seeing a Beast of Chaos list. It's nice to see someone having a dig with him.
Yeah.
Cave Spawn's probably the best list you're going to get. And I like this list. Lots of bodies, lots of 10-man units. Wildfire Taurus. I mean, you'd be mad not to take it. I think the Depraved Drove, is that the... I don't know what that does. Is that the... Hang on, I'll have to look that one up, eh?
Yeah, you looked that up. I'm just looking at it thinking it just looks awfully familiar.
Yeah,
I'm sure I've
look,
seen
it's
it.
always good to see someone have a crack with what's traditionally considered a subpar army. I do like to see the beast of chaos on the table. The Brave Drove sounds like the Slaneshi thing, which maybe it's a hobby army. They're all painted in Slanesh style. If I'll just ramble on for a moment while I bring up the
Beast Lord, Doombull, Shaman. The best, Gore, Ungore.
6 Bulgors. He's got a nice mix.
2 lots of Raiders. There's plenty of bodies. 162 wounds. Yeah.
Yeah, the Depraved Drove is the Slaneshi one.
Okay.
Which I don't see what he gets out of it. You reroll failed charge rolls for battalion while they're within 12 inches of enemy hero with an artifact of power. And you can reroll hits for with melee weapons that target an enemy hero with an artifact of power. Okay.
Okay, that's not bad. That's not bad, especially with the auxiliary.
It's very close to, I think it's a 1-drop.
Okay.
So he's taken the 1-drop, I think, without actually adding up the numbers. And maybe it's a painting thing.
I don't know. Could go all right.
I love seeing a beast list on the table.
It's got enough bodies. Who knows?
If there's justice in the world, I reckon he'll play Joel and beat him.
Yeah, or at the very least come third.
He's got a chariot too. Badass.
No.
And Centaurs.
Good. Yeah, I like the Centaurs. That's different.
Centaurs are awesome.
Look,
the
all the best to Hugh. I hope it goes.
Hope it goes really well.
Yeah, good on you. Now the next one. This is
Matthew Tyrell.
Yeah, I think it is a Tyrell.
Another Nighthaunt guy. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Good to see someone having a crack with one of the lesser known armies. It always is.
Yeah. Look, I don't know if he's a new guy, but let's have a look. Let's break it down. Spirit Torment as a general. It's got Kevin the Khan Wraith and Karen the Tomb Banshee. That's cute.
Nice.
Running the Shrieker host, so there are
very topical.
And the Harridans. Battle line in the Spirit hosts, a couple of Chain Rasps, and he's
Might
got
Kurdos
to ruin your day, and Alinda to do whatever Alinda does. Love the Black Coach. Love the
I think you should have the Dreadblade Harrow as a general. That's just such a good option.
I think it is a really good option. I'm curious as to why he's gone the Spirit Torment. And I'm actually curious as to why the other Nighthaunt list has gone the Spirit Torment. Maybe I'm missing something. Usually I take a Spirit Torment because I'm taking a whole lot of Blade Geist Revenants. And
it's a nice bit of auto healing in your opponent in your turn. In your opponent's turn as well for keeping someone alive.
Yeah. Spirit Torment's Battle Shock return units thing going
Trigger host, that's you can't use Inspiring Presence. Correct?
I don't know. Look, maybe this list is more about control than about outright damage. Not sure.
Look, you need more bodies for control. You've got a nice castle there with your Spirit host.
Yeah. Don't know.
Maybe Linda bringing them back.
You just got to make sure she stays alive.
Black Coach brings back bodies as well, not wounds, doesn't it?
I would have to go and check that. Yeah, maybe.
No, good luck to him. It's good to see someone having a dig.
Yeah. Look, I hope he does well. If he sticks at it, who knows? Maybe one day he'll go all the way to Master.
Yeah, it's not an easy army to play, is it?
No, okay. I'm sure he'll do just fine. Something tells me he'll be all right.
I think it's another fucking terrible major list.
I quite like
Corey
this
one. Or Brushy.
I really rate this one. This is obviously a change host. What I like about this one is it's actually fairly simple. You've got some real purpose-built stuff in this list. It's got decent shooting, it's got a decent tar pit, and it's got decent magic disruption. 92 wounds. But with the pink horrors, it offsets that a fair bit. I don't know. I think this is a fair chance of doing quite well.
Yep. The funny thing about this is Brushy hates playing.
Yeah.
So every time he gets a piece on the table, he bitches and moans about having to bloody play pink.
Yeah.
So
I
I'm
don't
not
know.
quite sure what direction he's heading with it, but
Look,
but you change hope, they're pretty good. It should go okay.
I think it'll be fine. I actually quite. I don't mind this one. I think it could go well. You know, just make sure you use your destiny dice right and make sure you put your shit in the right spot to make the most out of it. You know, I think who knows, could go okay. And by the same token, it could get bum rushed and get knocked off the table before it gets a chance to do anything. And there's a fair chance of that in this pack as well. But if he plays it right, I think he could. You know,
yeah, he's got plenty of screens. Yeah.
He could hand off his brimstones, sacrifice them, and then turn around and counterpunch some good damage. So maybe, who knows?
Yeah, it's a strong list.
Corey Ford, Mr. Nine Toes, one of the two Gargant lists coming up next.
Actually, I don't think Corey's been to an away event since he had 10 toes, so this will be a nice weekend out for him.
Yeah, I reckon you might be right there. I really like this list. Yep. I like it a lot. It's my favourite list out of all of them. Not necessarily to win, just personally my favourite list, because I intend to run this list myself.
Okay.
I love a double breaker and 6 mini giants. I think that's a very cool build. So far, I've run a stomper and 9 mini guys, but I thought if I ever want to run 2 big guys, I'd want to run a double stomper, double breaker. So I think double breaker is very cool.
So the general's getting +1 to hit against pretty much everything.
Yeah, Bossy Pants, Clever Clogs, Shinians. He's got the enchanted portcullis.
What does that one do?
That one.
Does that reroll all stats?
That's Stomper. Breaker. Roll a dice every time you allocate a wound or mortal wound. On a 6, that wound is negated. There you go. 6 up front.
Right. Yeah, it's not too bad.
I think it's very cool.
You've got 35 chances to hit it on a make so.
I really like that. And then I like that he's got a unit of 3 and 3 units of 1. And I think that's very clever.
Plus, these things have an absolute field day against KO.
Yeah, because of the garrison. So they can smash the ships if they're got units in them, which is cool. On top of that, their damage output of these megas, this is the one where this mega is frontline. Whereas when I played the Stomper, he's a utility, and he stays back. These guys are going to get up and get nasty, and they're going to be supported by those other man crushers. Like I said, my favourite list. Can't wait to hear how he does with it.
Hopefully it'll go well.
Yeah, that's definitely my favourite. So.
So if you're wondering what the names mean, this was submitted when Rocky allowed Gargants in without an FAQ.
Yeah, so Corey was going to obviously play some
orcs,
but because the Giants got let in, not a Maw Crusher, still not a Maw Crusher, not Gore Grunters, still not Gore Grunters. T.O. is the best bloke around. So a little, if we read between the lines, I think he was very happy he got to take Giants this weekend. Tyson Gleason.
Fuck's sake.
Fire Slayers. Yeah. Look, there's nothing wrong with this list. It's a solid list.
Yep.
Do well.
It's a misery.
I think it's boring. I just think it's a really boring list, but it'll do well.
I actually like the general on the Magma Draft to give it a bit more survivability.
Yeah.
And a bigger barbel for its 12-inch thing.
He's
fights first, fights last.
Yeah, he's mixing up the pole axes and the broad axes, which I think is a really good move. So you can decide what you're doing. Yeah. It's
solid army.
It's a good, solid, winning Fire Slayers list. It's a snooze fest.
Oh, don't hold back, though.
I just think it is.
Yeah, I tend to agree.
Okay, we've seen the list before. This will be one of the few times that Tyson's actually taken this out for a real ride, though. I think I I know he's had Fire Slayers for Yonks, but I don't know that he's taken them to an event before.
But in a lot of high objective games, there's a lot of objectives on the table. They'll be immune to battle shock.
Yeah.
Floor up saves, choppity chop.
Yeah.
Just getting across the table is going to be his only problem. But
it's going to plod. I guess that's the biggest armor he's got. Is just going to plod.
He does have a deep strike. But it's interesting. I like that.
The smiter lets him deep strike a unit, so there's definitely something. All except for round 4, something is coming up your ass, but the rest of it's just going to be a slog.
Yeah, Flame Spirit. I like Flame Spirit.
Yeah. All right. Greywater Fastness next. So the 1 Cities of Sigmar list that will be there on the weekend.
Different list to the one we're used to seeing around the local.
Yeah, so which threw me a little bit because normally when we see Greywater Fastness here in Bendigo, it's nothing but artillery. This one is more of a mix. This is a real mixed bag of what Cities has to offer. I think it's interesting. Obviously, John Burns is he's into his narrative. He's given some.
Interestingly enough, Johnny Burns was the bartender from Deadwood. So.
Oh, there you go. Well, I hope that Mr. Burns does well. You know that he's enjoying his city, his list writing when he puts 10,000 apostrophes in people's names because in fantasy realms apostrophes are king. No, look, this is really cool. The Rune Lord is there.
Got canaries, lots of bodies, lots of dwarfs.
The Rune Lord and the Iron Drakes is a really nice combo. I'd say it's also going to be useful for Longbeards if he wants some rend or.
I was a bit curious about he's got the bridge but only 1 wizard. But I don't think he's relying on the bridge the way a lot of shooting armies are.
Well, it's not a real shooting army though.
No.
Is it?
And with short deployments, you won't need it. Yeah, the Iron Drakes.
Yeah, he's got a unit of 30 Iron Drake. Yeah, it's terrifying.
Yeah.
But with the Rune Lord behind him, that thing's amazing. That list will be that group will be cool. I love that he's got a couple of copters in there. That's very, very cool. He's chucked in some canaries there. I like it. To me, what I like about it is he's gone, let's get a little Dispossessed and let's get a little bit of Phoenix and let's mash it all together in a Greywater Fastness. I think it's really cool.
2 Night Venators. Oh, yeah.
They're the shooty one?
Yeah, they're the shooty arrow ones.
Yeah. Yeah, with the one shot per game against
one shot thing, yeah. Awesome.
I love that. Yeah, that's cool.
Plus you're re-rolling ones to hit if you're within 12 inches of the general. There's a lot of synergies there.
Yeah. I think it's a clever list. I think it's well done.
I hope it does well.
Yeah, like I say, it's not what we're used to seeing in a Greywater Fastness, but I do quite like it.
And he's got canaries instead of 2 units of Aether Wings. Good choice.
Those 30 Iron Drakes, though, are going to mince something. He'll screen off in front of them and just let them go to town on something, and that will be fucking cool as.
Yeah, that's going to hurt if it come at him, isn't it?
I like it. Yeah, anything comes at that, it's going to be cool as. Matty Kent.
It's a good army.
He's obviously he's running his meme list. Double Frosty and 4 Beast Riders. 6 Stonehorns coming at you.
Yeah, it's loves his monsters, does our Matt?
He does. There is no frills, no fat. This thing is just straight up.
I know he's been playing this on TTS quite a bit. How that will translate to the tabletop remains to be seen.
Yeah. This is a good pack for this particular lot. Yeah, and once again, Black Cladderhorn, Metal Cruncher, they're the 2 you're always going to see here. And they've got extra wounds as well. So, yeah, it's just good, solid. The only thing that lets it down is it is a 6-drop.
Yeah.
There's no battalion. So.
With no screens, yeah.
Also, he hasn't picked a realm. So, obviously, he's not banking on that.
He's just big balling, mate.
Yeah, he is. And that's what this list is. It's just a big set of balls.
Yeah, basically.
Over to the coach, Mr. Magro, running Gargants as well. Here we go. Here's your Take a Tribe. So this one, is affected by the FAQ. He can punt the objective potentially for more or less points.
Yep, Coach is going to have a field day taking objectives around.
That'd be fun.
It will be fun.
To see. I hope he's not playing with pie plates. I hope he plays with small objective markers, because otherwise that is going to be a very negative experience for whoever.
And they're worth 30 bodies each.
Yep.
30 and 15.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, he's running a bodies game here with hardly any bodies. And he's got a gatebreaker in there just to bust heads. It's cool. It is a cool list. I prefer a double. Personally, I prefer a double gatebreaker.
What does the Plate of Perfect Protection do?
Well, aside from massive amounts of alliteration.
Yeah.
Let me look it up.
Shout out to Stanley. Bless him.
It's great. Excelsior. No, let's have a look. What do we say? Take a tribe. Take a tribe.
And extremely intimidating is a leadership bubble, isn't
it? Neg 1 from hit rolls for enemy models that are within 3 inches of the general.
Oh, that is nice.
So neg 1 a hit, which is totally nice. What did we say it was? It was the...
Plate of Perfect Protection. That's lovely. I mean, the coach hasn't traditionally been the most viciously competitive of players, but I have a feeling that might be about to change. Because, yeah, I reckon he's going to get really, really nasty with this list. Just the ability to shift the directions. You know, if you can kick 2 objectives under your Gargan pile.
Sorry, Plate of Perfect Protection is probably a realm artifact. That's why I can't find it.
Oh, okay. Reroll 1 to save or some nonsense.
I imagine. Sorry, guys. You can probably correct.
Yeah, no, I think that is reroll 1 to save.
Yeah, it is. Realm artifact. Thank you, Coach. Yeah, so very nice.
He's going to have a fun weekend with his Gargants. They're very well painted.
Look, I hope he has a ball. I love Gargants too. So as a fellow Gargantuanite, I do wish you all the best. It ignores rend of 1. That's what it does.
Yep.
So neg 1 to hit and ignoring rend of 1, very survivable. It's very cool. And he gets to kick the shit out of objectives.
And hopefully he'll have a good weekend not organising his own tournaments and stuff.
Yeah, probably fun.
It's always good to see a TO get away from home, so to speak.
Yep. All right.
We'll see how it goes.
Nice one. All right. Good luck, Coach. Jake Gunning running Iron Jaws.
He's gunning for it.
He's gunning for it. Let's have a look here. In an Iron Fist.
Double War Chanter and pigs.
So many pigs. Man, those pigs are assholes of things, aren't they? The damage they...
Double Maw Crusher and pigs, only 1 War Chanter. Yep, okay.
Yeah, but it's a dozen pigs. That's a lot of pigs.
But he's only got the 1 War Chanter to buff them with, so they're pretty uninspiring. They're not as good just doing 1 point of damage. So he's relying on the Maw Crushers. And normally you'd see this list with 2 War Chanters in it.
Yeah, but even so, double cabbage.
Yep.
As far as leader and behemoth, he's going to be stacking up some bonus points here on objectives.
Next 3 rend, meaning and a weirden as per normal.
Yep, pretty standard there. I don't know, like I don't think it's not a bad list. This damage output's great.
Yeah, we'll have a bit of fun with the other monster mashers from the look of it.
Yeah, definitely. Just orcs bringing it to the table. All right. Now we've got Duncan Cross running KO again. Once again, this is really common. There's not a Skyport ban run here either. Settle grudges, always take what you're owed, and there's no trading with some people. So settle the grudges. I'm pretty sure as you can choose something that gets a reroll hits a 1 against. Take what you're owed. The other gold, and there's no trading with some people. Obviously does something else. Once per battle, it can run and shoot and run and charge. Okay.
Yeah.
So what do we got here? Navigator, your Balloon Boy, Engine Master is the General, which is making the Engine Riggers and Sky Wardens battle line.
Does seem to have a few more balloon boys.
An Admiral, lots of Balloon Boys, so only 10 Arcanauts and then 2 lots of 3 Riggers, 2 lots of 3 Wardens. Riggers have gone for raft launchers and
I'm just
volley gun, drill launcher. It's not bad. I don't know that it's necessarily fine tuned, but seems
look,
it's a big mix of everything. It's basically just a big mix of everything.
Yep.
With an ironclad. Now this
everyone's got an ironclad these days. I like ironclads.
This one's got the buoyancy aid, which means his Thunderers and all his leaders can sit on board the ironclad if he wants, and it still gets fly high and full movement and everything else. So
look, I'm just gonna say that I much prefer the KO meta when only one guy ran him in the country. Shout out to Cron.
Yeah, Cron is a KO legend.
Yeah, I just look at this and think, go play 40k.
It's really not as bad as that. There's not actually a ton of shooting in this because all the Riggers and Wardens, it's actually more of a melee list than anything else. It's fairly balanced, well, as balanced as KO can get into having a combat phase, which normally it doesn't really get much of. So it's interesting. I find it really interesting that we're seeing so many that are not bothering with a Skyport, that are picking their own articles or footnotes.
Okay.
And
so he hasn't left it off. He's not picked it. Nice.
No, he hasn't picked it. So instead of picking one, you can choose your own articles and footnotes, and then choose your own artifacts and things from the general list, as opposed to being tied into something. Obviously, though, in not taking a Skyport, you don't get whatever perk the Skyport gives you in a command ability and other stuff. So it's interesting.
It's a choice.
Yeah, and I'm just seeing it a little bit in this player pack that people are choosing to go more a boutique approach.
Might be a Canberra thing.
It might be. Sean running Stormcast Anvils.
This was a late edition, I believe.
Well, late in this document anyway. So not sure. 132 wounds worth of Stormcast. The Selly Prime. This one's very much your kind of middle child Stormcast, isn't it? Paladors, Etherwings, Raptors, Nev Blackthorn.
It's got a sort of every model I own or could borrow feel about it.
It's a second.
And again, prove me wrong, Sean.
It's a second gen Stormcast list. It's all of the Vanguard. Basically.
9 Vanguard double shooting is no joke. Sally Prime. I'm a bit mystified as to what Neve's doing in there, but I think it's the first time I've ever seen her in a list, so there you go.
Yeah. Well, she can hang on to the coattails of the Aquila that's
around. Yeah.
Obviously, the Paladors are very quick. There's a shit ton of Etherwings there just to get in your way. And 9 long strikes, I mean, they're capable of doing some damage. Don't know. You got translocation as well, so he's planning on making them more maneuverable.
Griff Hounds, the unsung heroes of Stormcast.
That's it. And your hunters can come in, deep strike and other stuff. I know all Stormcast can deep strike.
Yeah, these lists really got hurt by not being able to buy extra command points, didn't they?
Yeah.
Capping it at 1.
Still.
Okay, and the last guy is Buy Buster.
Yeah, so in the event that we need a Buy Buster and
Hierophant, I like any good Buy Buster list. This one's a bit of a pig. He's got Arch. He's got a lot in here, actually. Chaos Sorcerer Lord for the reroll save on Arch. That's what you need. Fate Master, Flux Master, Karaka Lodge, Enlightened, Witchfire Coven, so he's got the 130 blob. This is a really nasty list. And how do we know that the guy in charge of this is a really terrible human being, Dave?
Well, he's the guy running the event, isn't he?
Gaminids of all good.
Yeah.
You may as well just have arsehole tattooed on your forehead at that point.
Hey, sometimes you just want a flaming pair of testicles to fondle in between turns. You know, maybe they're not in the list to be put on the table. Maybe they're just there just to rub. Look, it's a buy bust list. I'm not going to wish it well because, you know, you want the competitors to do what they're doing, but seems like a
You're not going to
decent list.
If they offer you the buy or the buy buster, take the buy.
Yeah, take the buy. Take a nap. Have a drink.
Go explore Canberra. Actually, I got to get to work soon, Dave.
You do. That's why we're going to wrap this up now. So,
did we take time to put shit on Canberra as a destination?
Well, you can take us away into that tirade if you like.
Look, just fucking, it's the nation's taint. It's all there, and listen to the various Canberra episodes of the podcast.
Yeah, anytime we've come a post CanCon episode, you usually get a fair dose of everything.
How much I hate you. And just thinking of it now, I'm really glad not to have to make the second trip to Canberra this year.
Well, I would like to say
I'm sad not to be going, but I'm glad not to be going to Canberra.
I hope everyone does really well. I'm sure the event will go off without a hitch. Best of luck to everyone who's competing, and thank you to Michael for actually manning up and putting together an event. He hasn't been in Canberra all that long, having moved down from Queensland, and it's really good to see him.
I'm a bit mystified as to what happened to the king of Canberra, Chuck.
Well, I guess he's busy. You know, people get busy.
Yeah. Just saying, you know, we're not allowed to skip Bendigo events.
Yeah, but...
Maybe they could use some leadership changes in Canberra.
There you go, wow.
Just putting it out there.
So the seeds of dissension of...
it is a home of the buddy coup, isn't it?
All right, well...
and as a second that, you know, it's been a really shit year for pretty much everybody.
It has.
And it's very... Yeah, this will hopefully... We'll get us back to some competitive AOS.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the next event that
looking forward to the stories.
Yes. Guys, have an absolute blast.
Have a blast.
Enjoy it for us. And thank you very much for those of you who tuned in. That was awesome.
People actually tuned in. What a bunch of losers.
I hope you enjoy your hobby. Thanks, guys. And all the
best. Peace out.